Ocarina of Time has always had its quirks. Beyond the slow text, low polygon count, and some other third thing that really just show that it's a product of its time before skippable cutscenes became a standard. And while it may not be Super Mario 64, this game has its cool features and some oddities wrapped up into its movement. Hi, I'm Autumn Holley, and I'll be narrating this video on behalf of KT Speedruns. If you'd like me to narrate something for you, check out my Fiverr page, link in the description. We have our basic beginnings. The obvious, such as rolling forward being faster than joystick-only walking, and those of us familiar with speedrunning know that backwalking is even faster for long straight lines. Side hopping is even faster if you're always starting a new side hop, the frame link is touching the ground. Again, only useful in straight lines, making back walking and side hopping inconvenient for areas with plenty of twists and turns. In fact, the footage you're watching now had to be faked to make the movement look good. There's a setting in Randomizer that makes Link walk 50% faster when wearing the bunny hood, similar to its functionality in Majora's Mask. It is speculated that the bunny hood was supposed to have this functionality in Ocarina of Time as well. So if you're like KT's wife, you can put on the bunny hood and let it do the heavy lifting. With fun mods like that, you can have the benefits of fast movement without the inconveniences that come packaged with backwalking and side hopping. You've been shielded from the advanced stuff long enough. The shield is handy for halting your movement or interrupting an action. In this setup, it's used to interrupt a spin attack to get just the right angle to drop a bomb chew. Here are two more example setups that would not work if you don't interrupt certain slashes by shielding. Shield can also help turning 90 degrees and turning 180 degrees. Hold shield, hold the desired direction, release shield for 2 frames, and then shield again. Quick side note is that the camera wants to be behind Link, so if left idle for a moment, the camera will try to go behind him. Moving or targeting will turn this off until left idle again. Who likes targeting? It locks you into an angle and allows you to move around without the angle changing. While it's common to say there's 360 degrees in a circle, this game goes above and beyond with well over 64,000 unique directions that Link can face. The game refers to these directions as a numerical value, roughly between -32,700 and 32,700. And for some setups, the amount of angles that work fall within the window of about 10 to 20 angles. But we have more tools for arriving at these precise angles. Targeting walls is a fairly common starting point. When looking at a wall, pressing target will fix Link's position looking directly at the wall. Useful for things like this, where you can use the wall to line up with it before turning around to face exactly away from the wall. For some walls, you have to be walking into the wall, or else Link's position won't be fixed towards the wall. I'm not sure why, and neither is KT, as he didn't write an explanation. There are some short walls you can target, but walking into them means hopping up on it. But you can avoid the climbing if you target it while slowly rolling into it. Can't hop while rolling. That doesn't count. KT's old high school choir teacher would say practice makes permanent. As in, if you practice something a certain way, you'll perform it the same way. In other words, use the same process, get the same outcome. Example, pressing A while targeting and leaving your joystick alone causes a dry roll. Your dry roll can end up being a diagonal or sideways roll if you side hop or backflip beforehand. Letting go of target during the dry roll and retargeting is often very helpful for locking in a new angle. Something that seems insanely precise can become trivial with the right sequence of actions, also known as a setup, to get the right position with the right angle. Even slashes to move forward and shield scoots. That's when you're shielding, hold forward, and release the shield for 3 frames. Don't worry, this game's physics run at 20 frames per second, so the 1 frame window is pretty easy to hit. With a little practice, you'll have muscle memory for it. This setup for skipping Deku Tree Basement makes use of wall targeting, dry rolls, and shield turning. Targeting the wall gets us the same starting angle. Dry rolling into a corner gives us the same starting position. And the same series backflips, side hops, and shield turns get us the same outcome. If we have bombs, we can skip this a different way. If your sword is drawn and you're targeting and shielding while pressing A to grab an item, it locks Link into waiting until shield is released so he can grab the item. But if that object disappears, or Link is moved too far to grab it, something funny happens, turning your next backflip or side hop into this. In short, an animation is stored and tries to play during the next animation, so Link just jumps instead. So what's this? ESS position. This game has a tech called Extended Super Slide. It requires you to hold a position on the joystick just outside the dead zone, but not far enough to make Link walk. Rolling has invincibility frames, and rolling into damage to get hit during this invincibility can cause a moment of high backwards momentum. Targeting, shielding, and holding ESS position locks in that speed, which is actually faster than riding Epona. ESS position isn't just for extended super slides, but for ESS turns too. It's common to use left and right, or down left and down right. ESS turning will change your rotation by a fixed value each frame, making 1 frame of turning right the same whether you're using right or down right. ESS position is also an alternative way to turn 90 degrees or 180 degrees, and doesn't require shield. You do have a limited time to do it. Holding ESS does not stop the camera's reset timer. It may be tricky at first, but I highly recommend picking it up as it's abundant in trick and clip setups, like this one that uses ESS turning left for 2 frames, or this one that uses ESS turning to the right for 3 frames. Commonly, you'll see players turn 1 frame at a time, targeting between each turn to keep track of how much they've turned. In short, if you can master everything from this video, you're on your way to learning most of Ocarina of Time's clips and tricks. Enjoy doing them as a party trick for friends, or using it to upgrade your game in Ocarina of Time randomizer.